Hi guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. Finally, we are back with more content for you, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with Tariro. Tariro, how are you doing today? How are you?
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I think it's like breaking, but I think I can hear you.
How are you? The question was, how are you doing?
I am good. I am okay. Besides the fact that my internet and my network suck, I am doing okay.
No, don't worry about it. That's the beauties of being in. I'm not in Africa, but there's the beauties of being in Africa. Certain things just happen that you can't control, but it's fine. It's good.
Can't control, like, literally can't do anything about the internet.
Yeah.
What can
You can move. You can move to a whole other continent. That's what I did. That's what I did, and it seemed to have been working for me.
yeah, like locating the place where they have good network.
Yeah, but no, that's fine. So every single time I do these interviews, I always start with the friendship love story. Like, how did you meet? How did we meet? What was what happened? Tell us the details. We want to know the nitty gritties and all of that stuff. So how did we meet? How did we, like, I'm just getting so excited just thinking about how we met. Because it was the most random, it was actually the most random,
So random.
like so random, like
Mm.
so random. So how did we meet? How do you remember us meeting and all of that?
Okay, so I remember pulling up at Linux's workplace,
Mm.
and I just gone there just to say hi and go home. And yeah, I think I was looking good that day. And it's just like I need a model for this shoot, for this indoor shoot. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went. So he kept calling this girl by the name Shami, and I was like, who's she? Like, we're supposed to meet in this thing. She's also supposed to be a model in this thing. I was like, okay, cool. And so we went to the place. I think it was Zash's house.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful home. They have an
Very
amazing.
nice. Yeah.
We there, and I think we waited for this Shami girl for like hours. We waited for her for like 2 hours, and we're just waiting for her. And we kept calling her. And then I was just like, who's she? Like, she can even be late to a shoot. I was like, okay, cool. And finally, she showed up. And I was like, okay, Shami. And as usual, like, conversations flowed. And, we just had a blast doing this photo shoot. Like, indoor shoots are always fun. So, like, it was amazing. I think we met in the most random but amazing way. Like, meeting at a shoot is super
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
So you
definitely.
get to know people's best angles and whatnot. Yeah.
You'll be like posting and you'll be like, because I remember I was holding a pen, so I kept on doing this and I was like this, and I was trying to be sophisticated and sexy at the same. I was like, pen, like, on my collarbone over here, and I
Yeah.
was trying to be like, yes, and I was like trying to be serious, holding, because I was feeling, not gonna lie, I didn't know that's what it was like from your perspective. Just remember Lennox being like, calling me, being like, dude, I need a model. And I was like, okay, sure. And then the thing is, we were getting lost because the directions and what he told us, I was kind of like, where is this place? Because it was kind of in a, it was,
Yeah.
where
And
it was,
road.
yeah, it was in such a interesting like place with, and the directions weren't directing, and I was kind of like, what's going on over here? But then
Yeah.
I heard free shoot and free photos, and I'd also liked I'd also had wanted photos like that, like where they're very
Mm.
sophisticated, yeah, I'm not wearing any makeup. Where is this really me? And I looked very
Yeah.
serious and I looked very like sophisticated. And I was wearing,
Yeah.
and one thing I remember you saying when we met was like, I don't have a lot of people that wear like suits in my life. And I was like, and I was wearing like a whole new like get up. Like I was like having a good
Yes,
suit
you were.
and I was looking cute. Yes, this charming girl. Yes, it was me. I am her. It was I.
She's
Worth the wait. Worth the wait.
with the weight.
I did. I did. I didn't actually realize like that's how it seemed like on your end. Like, who is this girl? Like, so you guys actually. Oh yeah, you guys waited. I
Yeah,
didn't.
we did wait for you.
I didn't realize. Oh, and then I came, and then now look at us. Look at us. Months later. Look at us. She was worth it. I'm
She
worth
was
it.
totally. I mean, like, look at us again. We
Look
are in
at us.
this because of a random shoot and waiting for this shammy girl.
There we go. I've never been. Oh my gosh! But I'm glad. I'm glad you waited for me because it was worth the wait.
Definitely.
Speaking of waiting, this just came up in my head. What is one
Mhm.
thing or like a couple of things that you are waiting on, or yeah, in your life, or that you feel like God is like leading you to wait? If God is like giving you a promise, like what are you waiting on? Because this morning I was listening to Wait on the Lord by Elevation and Maverick City, and I was just thinking about the things that I'm waiting on. So I was wondering, like, is there anything that you've been waiting on, or something that God told you like months ago or a year ago, or promise He gave you like about something that you're waiting on? Like, yeah, tell us.
Okay, so actually, what happened this morning is I woke up and I sit on the desk. Like, I didn't know how this was gonna go, what I was gonna talk about. I was like, I should probably write a few notes, but I had nothing. And also sitting there, like something was heavy on my heart. I didn't know what, but I just felt like I'm not okay. So
Mm,
I stood up, and usually when this happens, I know somehow, somewhere I'm gonna cry about something.
mm,
So I took a tissue, I put it in my pocket, and I went for a walk. And then whilst I was walking, I went in the direction of this church. I know this church down the road. And as I was going there, I kept praying. I kept praying. I kept praying. And there's a word that came to mind, and the word was positioning.
mhm,
So I prayed about positioning. I was like, okay, what am I praying about, when it comes to positioning? But that was the word on my heart at that moment. So as I kept walking, I got to the church, and the second word that came to my mind was revelation.
mm,
And as I was pacing up and down in this church and I was praying and I was alone, and I felt like I looked weird to people because people kept passing, and it was like an open church. And unfortunately, I guess, but it was like an open church, and I kept praying. I was like, I'm not going to look at people. I really need to get this heaviness off my chest. So as I was praying, the third word that came to my heart was evidence.
mm,
And I came back and I wrote these words down, and I said, this is what I'm going to talk about, you know. And these three words, I think for me, are things that I have been waiting on from the Lord for the longest time.
mm,
I've been waiting for positioning for every single season that's going to come, every season of love, every season of abundant grace, every season of abundant blessings. You want to be ready. You want to be in a position where you're ready to receive what God is going to give you. I remember we had a conversation where I was complaining about a couple of things, and that also came to mind. And like, was I positioned to receive that push? Was I positioned to receive what I was supposed to give back to the world? And the second word, which is evidence, which is revelation. Like, I've always waited for God to reveal His purpose in me, because sometimes I feel like we get lost along the way. So revelation is like super important to me, and I've been waiting on it. And in my prayer, I just ask God, in everything that I do, may I see the God in you.
mm.
If that's how your revelation is gonna come, I'm going to wait on it like that. I'm going to see the God in you in every single thing that I do, every single thing that I touch, every single thing that I see. May it reveal some sort of part of you so that I know what I'm supposed to do in your full body, when it came to evidence, I just remember reading about Gideon and how he asked God for evidence, even if he knew it was God. He still asked for evidence. And there are things that do happen in our lives where it strongly feels like God, but you're just like, God, may I just have like a little evidence that
Just a little sign.
can I have just a little something so that I know it's you? And we are so hesitant to ask for evidence. I, for one, would just be like, it's probably like some chest pain, let me move on. Or, it's probably just a little something. So let me move on. So you let a lot of things that are off guard slide because you have not asked for evidence. Like a lot of prayers that have been answered by God, but they were not tangible to you because you didn't ask for tangible evidence. Like there are points in our lives where where we want tangible evidence that it's God and he's working. So I think those are the three things I'm waiting on God for. Yeah.
Wow, I think that's so good, because sometimes we may think that things aren't going to happen, or we may think that God isn't listening, or all of that stuff. And then when you just get these tangible acts of like, this is God being like, yes, I hear you, I see you, I value you, like I'm gonna say this, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna put this heaviness like on your heart right now, and then you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. Like, that's one thing I think I can like kind of relate to that, because there's something I just been praying. Like there's something I was praying to God about like something I need to do, right? And then I had a conversation with my mom, and all of a sudden like just a new perspective of that thing, and I was like, whoa, that, like I was literally praying about it like just now, God, and literally right now, like whoa, like, and those moments where you're just like, wow, God, like wow, like for listening. I was just with you, I was just in fellowship with you, spending time with you, and all of a sudden there's this opportunity, or there's this thing that happens, and you're just like, whoa, like what has God like surprised you with, or what moments has God been like, let me blow her mind away? Like what moments like have you had where you're just like, whoa, like my God is so good. He is so good. No one can tell me nothing. Like, yeah, nothing.
Yeah. I think this year I started a habit of circling specific prayer points in my book. I have a journal. So whatever is very specific, I will write it down. And I'll circle it with a different pen. And when that prayer is answered, I'll write the date that it was answered. I also write the date that I write that prayer, that I say that prayer, and how continuously I'm praying about that prayer. And I also write the date when that prayer was answered. And honestly, I've had those whoa moments. Like,
yeah.
What? Like, how was I not seeing this before?
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was praying we were staying at a boarding house. So I'm praying for a house, a home, in fact, because I still have 2 more years to go in this place. So I asked God for a house. I was like, I want a really good place, a really nice house, a place where I can feel like I'm at home, away from home. I was circling that prayer in a different color, and I just wrote it there. And I think a month went by, and we didn't find a house. And that next month, I wrote the same prayer but shorter. I just said, Lord, help house. That was that. Those were the 3 words I wrote. I'm just like, I'm not gonna do a lengthy prayer anymore. Like, angels, you better intercede for me because I'm done. This is my prayer, Lord. Oh, house.
Yeah.
And I think that same month, I think it was June, we moved into a really lovely home, a really lovely place, where I actually have my own room, and everything is just so homely. And that was a whoa moment for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what I asked for, and you gave it to me. And it had happened previously with my permit for studying here in Zambia. It kept being denied, and everyone else's was being processed. And I wrote that, how is it that I'm a child of God and my things are not happening like that? How is it I'm a royal priesthood and my things are not coming to me like that? And I was so sad. I remember writing that prayer from a point of why. Usually I'm used to things running smoothly for me, and at that point a permit is so important, and I didn't have it at that point. So I just wrote in my book, my permit got reverted again, God intervened, and I think 3 days after my permit, the email for my permit being accepted came through. And that was a whoa moment. That was the first whoa moment I had whilst writing my prayers down. And it was so exciting. I feel like evidence, like I said, evidence is it just feels right. It just feels amazing. You just know that God is listening, God is moving, God is speaking even.
Definitely. I think even with what you're talking about, like I always look back at my journals, like, because journaling, if you don't journal, guys, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, because journaling, like, it helps you like get everything out of your mind onto a piece of paper that sometimes you can see it and be like, okay, maybe I'm being a bit over the top here, or maybe you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, God, I'm so grateful that you took me out of that thing. Or you're like, oh my gosh, look at how God answered this prayer. Like, I was looking for this, and God gave it to me. So it's an amazing way to just put your thoughts into a place and be like, there we go. Like, I'm just gonna put it like like, as you were talking, I started thinking about something that I've been watching Relationship Goals by Michael Todd and all these things. And one thing I wanted to ask you was, how are you, like, just to make sure to clarify, because based on conversations you have, you're single, yes? So that are you single?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yes. Me too, don't worry. We're both single and ready to not ready to mingle. Just maybe just
just single.
Just single. And I want, like, something that I kept on thinking about was, how are you embracing that time? How are you actually like living a fulfilled single life? Because one thing I realized with me when I was in a relationship like last year, and now is that, like, I'm still finding joy by myself. Like, I'm still finding joy with God, by myself, mostly those two, yes, with others, but mostly like by myself, like, because the person I'm going to be spending most of the time with most of the time is me. So I have to be able to enjoy that time with me. So how have you managed to enjoy that time with God and enjoy that time with yourself, and making sure you're content in your singleness? Because when we were on a call a couple of months ago, we were talking about how God is going to he'll bring us our prayer warriors, like he'll bring us the men. But in the meantime, in the meantime, that's also another prayer somewhere in my journal. But in the meantime, like, what have you been doing to enjoy this time with God and to find purpose in, like, a time where people are always like, get into a relationship and it'll fix this, or da, 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 da. If you do this, it's going to do this. Why aren't you with your mans? Where's your whatever. Like, how are you enjoying this time and all of that stuff?
I like it when you say,
wait, sorry, one more thing. And if you haven't been enjoying it, like tell us so that maybe there's someone who's battling with contentment as well.
Very honest. Don't worry. I will be honest.
Thank you.
Um, so firstly, there's definitely a difference between the person you are in a relationship and the person that you are out of a relationship.
Mm.
And I think personally, from the time I started dating, it was one person after the other, and after the other, and at some point, I'm like, am I not able to be single? But it just so happened that I have natural flow of conversation with people, and when I like someone, naturally it's gonna go that direction. So this is definitely the longest I've been single.
Mm.
And I feel like I've made the most progress with myself during this time.
Mm.
I've made the most progress with my relationship with God during this time. um Most people are not, they're afraid to be alone, honestly.
Mm.
Solitude for me has become a place of peace, and less of a place that is scary, a place that is lonely. um Not having someone to call every morning, to call every evening, to like depend on, not depend on, but like depend on for company,
Mm.
pushes you to depend on yourself for company. It pushes you to depend on God for company.
Mm.
So in the morning, instead of calling whoever, you are calling on God.
Mm. Definitely.
You are reading your Bible, you're journaling. In the evening, instead of calling that one person at midnight, you are praying. Instead of doing all those little things, like, you find substitutes for every single space that another person is supposed to come and feel you know in your life.
Mm.
So of course, it's been difficult being human, and the whole physical touch being a love language. Honestly, guys,
Is that yours? Is that your love language?
it is actually, it is.
Yeah.
Physical touch is part of like my love language.
Yeah.
Also gifting, but
Oh, okay.
I think you just also learn to just be you and improve who you are, and want to be better for the person, for the next person you're going to be with. Because I don't want to be in a relationship where I am half bagged. Like, I want to be 100, and that person is also going to bring their 100, and we're going to be like a 200. Like, I don't want to bring
Yeah.
a 50, and I'm busy whining because I'm not sure whether I like blue or pink. I want to be sure that I like blue, and enter that relationship saying I like blue. So if you like pink, we're going to get blue and pink.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been challenging, but you find substitute for the spaces, for the time, especially the time. You realize how important time with yourself is.
Mm.
It's so important. Talking to yourself is not crazy.
It's the best thing ever.
It is important. It is
Like,
very,
that's
very
why
important.
shine your light on me. Like, I would take a camera, I'll take my phone, and also talking to myself. Like, oh, what happened? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that's how most podcast shows begin. Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
All right. I'm saying I think that's how most podcasts and shows begin. Someone imagines themselves in that space. I think I've had so many people look at me whilst walking in the road. They just like, child, you're pretty, but you're about to go mad. But it's so nice, it's so affirming. Like, I conversations with yourself, you get to know what you like, what you don't like, what you're moving with, what you feel like doing, what you don't feel like doing. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's been a place of growth, uncomfortable growth. Let me tell you that it's been uncomfortable. Like I said, some love languages are better fulfilled by another person, but at the same time, I think you just learn to adapt and grow and just be you, I guess.
Definitely. I think to anyone who's been feeling unfulfilled, spend time with yourself. Like, actually take a camera and start talking to yourself. You will have the most amazing conversations. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you would have the most amazing conversation, hands down. And come back to us and be like, these two girls, they were spitting wisdom. Wisdom. This is wisdom. Run with it. Because you need to be wise in these streets. Run with the wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, anyway. But yeah, thank you for that. Was really beautiful. That was very, like, it was just on my heart, and I was just like, because I think for me, I've been learning to, like, spend more time, not yeah, spend more time with God, spend more time with myself, spend more time, like I went out today and I was having the best time. Like, I had the most amazing waffles, I had some ice cream and all of these things. I need to watch my weight because I can't be, bad. Who cares? I'll work out. I'm gonna get back. Like, I'll get back into it at some point, but
Yeah.
but like next week, actually, I'll get back into working out next week. This is my accountability on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. Yeah, on Monday you have to be like, Shami, did you work out? I'll be like, yes, I woke up at 6 and I worked. But until then, I have 2 more days of freedom. 2 more days of freedom. Anyway, but I love what you were saying, that you were just finding all those gaps and filling them up with you time and God time and all of these things. What about your friendships? Like, how do you pour into your friendships? Because I think one thing that's important to me in this time right now, like, as I'm about to finish my degree, like, I'm gonna finish it next year. Like, one thing I noticed is that all my friends, hi friends, are all long distance, and we were talking about how God has we've been separated. We've been that's painful.
Yeah.
How we've been separated. How have you managed friendships in the separation? Like, as you're like in your own space and you're building, like, do you still have the same friends that you had like 3 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? Or is it like like you don't know anyone that was in Zimbabwe and like you just like have people? Like, what's that like?
I think I keep most of my friends, even though we are long distance friends now. That doesn't change anything. I think the first long distance relationship that I tried out was an actual relationship, and when that happened, I was just like, God, how is this gonna work? And when that didn't exactly go well, I think I put so much effort into my friendships. Whenever I miss someone, I will call them instantly.
Yeah.
Whenever someone has a gap and I feel like they're feeling some type of way, that feeling thing that you do when you're like long distance, and that's what you have. So I will call. I'm that one friend who will call. I will video chat. I will text. If I have a pocket of time, I'll make sure I ask you if you're okay. Not even a lengthy conversation. Sometimes as friends, you can not speak for the longest time, but just that one "Are you okay?" message, that can change your friend's day. And I'm grateful to God that all my friends have the same values and principles as me. So I don't have to struggle with explaining myself. I don't have to struggle with trying to tell them things. Like when I'm saying I'm feeling some type of way, when I'm saying I'm feeling a heaviness on my heart, they know, go, you gotta pray, because that's how they also manage that. That's how they also go through the same things. And as for making friends, I think I've been making acquaintances, I guess. Because I think my work has flourished more this side. So it's a bit hectic to make friends in work. Of course, I'll make friends as time goes on. But yeah, as for now, I just have a few people that I talk to. Um, yeah, but my friends who are long distance, I love you guys, including you.
I am a long distance friend. Like I'm far. Like I'm far, far. I love you too, girl. Don't worry. When I come to Zimbabwe, we'll have to in December. We'll have to like link up.
Yeah.
This time I'll be on time. I like being on time. This time I'll be. Don't worry, I'll be on time. But you will still wait because it's worth. I am worth the wait. No, I like being on. I'm a very punctual. I like being on time. Like even today, I messaged you like so early in the morning. I was like, this girl is gonna think I'm so OCD. But I was like, let me make sure. And I was like, is she online? Is she online? I was like, no, she's not. And then I waited. I waited. And then I was like, is she okay? She's. I was like, and then I messaged you on Instagram as well. I was like, wait, is she? I was like, okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure because I like being on time,
Mhm.
punctuality. Maybe it's a bit of anxiety. I don't know because I haven't done this in a while, but I just wanted to make sure that this went well and was smooth. But like,
Yeah.
but I love that about your friendships and long distance. Like I get you. Like yes, I can relate with you. With I'm the type of friend that like is gonna message you and text and be like, "How are you doing? Like what's going on?" and all of these things. Like I'm the type of friend to just be on my friend's case to be like, "How you guys doing?"
Mhm.
On. I was thinking about you or sending them a voice note and being like, "Hi." And then I know they'll reply at some point. I'll be like, they'll reply at some point. Um,
Mhm.
at some point, because we're all busy and we're all doing stuff. But speaking of doing stuff, like what do you do like outside of school, university life? What do you do? We haven't talked about that. What are you passionate about? What like
Yeah.
motivates you to like be like, oh, let me do this, let me do that.
Okay, so currently I'm in nursing school, first year.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. And outside of that, that's where my passion is. Oh, I like nursing. I love nursing. I love what it's about. But my passion is artsy. Like I'm a very artsy person. Um, I like fashion. I'm into modeling more mostly. So the two major things that I do outside of school are modeling and styling. Those
Mhm.
are my um passions. Those are what I work with in Zambia right now. Um but I also like everything that surrounds performing arts. I love talking. I love singing in church. Not like singing. I
Mhm.
will sing in church.
Yes,
But yeah, I love singing. I love dancing. I love talking to people. I love making jokes. I love making people laugh and smile. But yeah, the two major things that I work with, the two major things that I'm working on are around modeling and styling.
Okay, okay. So do you want to do that professionally or do you want the nursing to be more of your profession in the future? Like, or both? You could do both if you want to do.
Do both.
You could.
But I would love to major in the modeling and styling.
Mm,
I feel when I do those things, they come naturally to me.
mm,
Not have to think twice
mm.
about doing the. I'll only think twice if, like, there's little money being offered. That's when I'll think twice. It's those are things I can naturally do without anyone offering me money. They're
Mm,
things that I would do out of love. They're things that I would do out of wanting to spread something, a word, a thought, a poem. They're things that I would naturally do out of being me. Like even when I'm speaking or I'm just posing for a picture, I just want it to be a message to someone. I want it to be a tangible thought to someone who can't really read between the lines.
mm,
So I would really love for those two things to be my major points or source of income.
mm,
But you know how it is out here. parents don't even trust you to do those things and earn money. So I still love and adore nursing and its principles and its values. I love making people feel. So I have no problem spending the rest of my life doing nursing, but I would love for God to make sure there's a provision for me
Yes,
to
definitely.
earn whilst doing the things that I really love to do. And
Definitely.
I think out of doing the things that you love to do, that's how you can best bring out the God in you.
Mm,
You can hear me. Like if
yeah.
you are doing something to the best of your abilities, if you're doing something to not please yourself, but to not please others, but to just be you, I feel that's how best you can worship. If
Mm,
you have spent time with an actual Bible, but you're out there making work that makes an impact on someone else's life,
mm,
then that's how you're worshiping. So I feel like if ever I'm going to worship through my work, it could be both with nursing and with modeling and
mm.
styling. But I would love for it to be from a point where I am happy to do what I do. So yeah.
Mm. But you'll do it and God will provide. You'll definitely do it. You're an amazing. If you guys see her Instagram page, she'd just be posing and she'd like be doing okay and be doing this and what and this and that and not the way I was doing it, the way I was doing it. But you look good and I'm like, oh, I'm friends with her. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, the people I'm friends with. I'm just like, oh, this is so interesting. No, but
Yeah.
I think God will provide. Not I think God will provide. He will make sure that all the things you desire to do, the things that you want to do, the things that He's put on your heart, because we did talk about the things that you want to do, and you will be able to do. You told me I'm gonna keep you accountable. I'm gonna keep you accountable. You'll have me being like, "Have you done the things? Have you done it? Have
Have you
ha- I'll be like, hello, every single day. I'm very consistent. I'm very consistent. I know I've been gone for a while, but it doesn't mean that. Oh, I'll be on your back. I'll be like, have you done the thing you said
have
you
you?
wanted
Yeah.
to do? Like,
Mm.
but I love that. I think that's the most beautiful description I've ever. You're very much a creative because even the way I'm just like you're going to go places with just your view and your perspective, and anything that you do for God is going to last, and it's going to withstand the test of times. It's going to withstand the test of any trials or tribulations. Like it's going to keep going and keep going. Like even with these conversations, like they're going to be up on YouTube, they're going to be up on the Instagram page. Like people are going to be able to see you and see your heart and be able to be like, oh, this is someone I'll be interested. Oh, what's she? She's a nurse too. She's this, she does this. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like all of these things. And I love it. And that was just beautiful. I'm just sitting here just being like, oh, this is nice. This is you talking and just spewing your wisdom. Like you're very wise and you have all of these and you're just amazing. I just wanted to say
Thank you.
I know words of affirmation are not your love language, but I just wanted to like give you a little praise right now because you deserve it. Like this is just this is amazing. Um how speaking of God, because sometimes I don't know, some people remember when they started being in a relationship with God, but when did you start like becoming a born again Christian, like having a relationship with God? When was the first time you were like decided to be a Christian and be like, this and that, I want to be with God, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna take up my cross and keep walking with Him and leave everything behind?
So I grew up in a Christian home. So
Mm-hmm.
naturally, every Sunday you go to church, you have a Bible house, everyone has a personal Bible, and you know the basics of Christianity, basically. Um, so I think around the age of 15, I was now at a school in Marundera, Waizao. And then I feel like that's when my personal journey started. Um, I started talking to God personally because I couldn't lean on my mother's prayers because she was far away. Of course, I can lean on my prayers, but I personally talked to God. I wanted to feel what she was feeling when she was praying. So I think around the age of 15, that's when I was, keeping a journal, reading the Bible, and doing all those things. But those were just things that, naturally someone does. But I feel spirituality began last year, my journey in spirituality. So me being connected to God and being a Christian, I think it began when I was 15. But me actually being dedicated to my spirituality and knowing the difference between religion and spirituality began last year. And I remember I haven't been dipped in water, like baptized
Yeah.
to a point of, I think that's also like a link that the devil sometimes uses to be like, oh, you're actually not dipped in water, child. But I've made it. I think we are now good with that point. But yeah, I think my journey with God began last year. It's been going stronger. I think this year has been my strongest year when it comes to actually knowing what both of us are about, what I am about, what God is about, and what we both want for, the best for me and how we can best worship Him. So I think last year, that's when my spirituality began. Being a Christian began when I was 15. And, from like the time I was born, because, I have that whole certificate. The Christian. That's how they are in Zimbabwe. So yeah, from birth, that's when I was a Christian, but my spirituality journey began last year.
All right, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think the more you get to know God is the more you get to know yourself, is the more you understand like what are you here to do. Obviously we're here to glorify God in everything that we do and to worship Him. But there's more to that. Like it just doesn't stop at that. There's more that God wants to do in our lives. Like He just doesn't want us to be like, we just know the basics. He died for us and this and that's it. That's the end. Like, no, there's so much more. There's so much goodness. There's long suffering and there's all these other things that people tell us and blah blah blah. But there's also beauty, there's grace, there's love, there's kindness, there's patience, all the fruits of I'm saying all the fruits of the spirit, you guys. Love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, meekness, faith, self-control. These are the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And against such there is no. That's a song that we use in primary school. We used to sing in primary school. But like there's so many things that as Christians that we get to gain. And I love how most of the people that I interact with are Christians, because like most of the people that I've talked to on Hear Me Out, they always have a story about how they started a relationship with God. And I'm just like, okay, I'm in the right field. We're going to be talking to a lot of Christians out here, so that you guys know that we don't play about Jesus. We don't we love him. We also we don't play. We don't play. We're trying to be growing, maturing in our spirituality, of course, with God, and to spread that to other people as well. One question that I have for you is, what are you looking forward to this year? Like, what's one thing that you're excited about in your life that's going to happen this year, that's going to happen next year, or something that's just been like you've been waiting to do or wanting to do? What's one thing you're excited to do?
Okay, so I think today I met about 2 people who are like, oh, hi, I've seen you on TV. Are you in a music video? And, that was like a moment.
Are you in a music video?
I'm in 2, actually.
Really? Why haven't I music videos. You have to send them to me. Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll send you the links. I'll definitely do that.
Ooh.
And like a moment for me, like people actually notice, they see. And I feel like what I'm looking forward is not more people saying the same. Of course, it would be a perk, but I want to do my own things. I'm looking forward to working with this certain photographer here in Zambia. He's really good. I'm hoping to work on a project with him, sort of like a big project. I think we talked about this. We had this conversation.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think it's like one of my goals before the year ends to make a portfolio as well. And what else? I don't remember. I don't remember. Who doesn't remember their goals in life? I don't.
You don't remember any of your goals.
I
How?
do.
How do you not know?
They're coming back. They're coming back.
Okay. Just say graduating. Just say graduate. Well, did you say you graduate in 2 to 3 years? Never mind.
That's. I think like also making sure my exams are like okay. Make sure I ace my exams.
Mm-hmm.
Clearing this year. What else? Hopefully a podcast, but I think that's next year. I think that yeah, but from the top of my head, those are the things I can think of. Mm-hmm. I think mostly you can look forward to a project, a photography project, based on the things that I've been going through. Every picture is going to be a different story, and I hope everyone can relate to being a young Christian in a world where Hunter's Dry tastes nice, where, you know, you want physical touch, but, you know, the only touch you need is the touch of God. And you want all these things. You want all these things in life, but you gotta work hard, you know. I hope everyone can relate. So, yeah, I think that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing.
That is beautiful. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your Saturday evening to be like, let's talk to Shami on Shania. Let's talk to this girl. This girl.
And let's talk to the Shami girl.
This Shami girl, whoever she is, she gets let's talk to her. But thank you for taking the time. Like, I think we talked about so many things that I think people are going to be able to resonate with. People are going to be able to just just resonate with as they're watching this. And you spit a lot of bars. I was quiet. I was just like just taking everything in, just being like, this is so nice. Like, sometimes I don't want to talk. Sometimes I just want to listen. Like, this is the whole point of having these conversations. Yes, sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't, but just a conversation for us to hear you out. That's why it's called Hear Me Out, so that we can hear you out, your wisdom, your story. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this with me.
You are so welcome. I've been looking forward to like this ever since I'm like, okay, when is this gonna happen? And I thought it was gonna be like later in the year, but here we are, a few weeks, and I'm so excited. I am so happy that you thought that I was worth it. You know, I love this. You know, every story matters, and I hope mine actually does matter.
It does.
Yeah,
it does matter. That's why it matters. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining me.
Loved doing this.
Thank you to everyone for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this conversation, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Bye.